Hi, Joe. Not quite ready yet. Oh, and my phone is going off. Err. So proud of you, Joe. You're doing good. I'm just going to wait, see if a few more people come in, and then I'm going to start. We're going to have fun this weekend. You got lots to celebrate about. Thank you. Oh, man. And this is why when I put these on YouTube, I have to do a lot of editing because it's this weight. I'm kind of all set up. Look at me, I'm so organized. I'll still like mess up, but check this all out. Like one project after the other, like all lined up. The things I had to pre-do. Isn't that pretty? Oops, there goes my little antennas. Look at that on vellum. I'm liking it. Oh, and then I tried something. You know how you push from the back, you know, with something round and it turns white? And then I colored it on the front. This was like a mistake one. Came out really good. So now I'm going to have to do it for real. Are you going to drink with us? Hi, Becky. I know, right? A pretty mistake. I know. I'm going to do it for real and see how it comes out. But that was really, yeah, sometimes mistakes are, you know, the best. Experimenting. Okay. All right, so Becky, the butterfly, like I was embossing them for tonight's card, and I wanted them pre-done because you know how it takes time for the ink to dry on the back. So when I embossed this one, I missed a little bit of the ink, so I decided to take, where's my little pad? So I decided to take this and then, no, this is too big. You have to do it carefully because our cardstock, our vellum is a little bit thick and it'll rip. But when you do this on this side, and I used our little embossing thing, it turns it white. And then I took the green marker and it kind of makes it more absorbent so you can do it from the front. But the color comes out so pretty. So I'm going to do a bunch of them for real. And it raises it. So even if you do parts of it raised and, you know, the rest from the back, I think it's going to give it a nice texture. That may be my swaps. What an idea. All right, so I'm going to start. Other people will see this on the replay. I have a lot of people watching later, and then they leave me messages. So tonight what I'm working with is the Tutti Frutti Cards and Envelopes. And they can be earned free when you order, you know, $50. they're really kind of cool. I have a pack that's still closed, but there's 32 total, and they're nice. They're all, you know, like lined on the inside, and the different colors. And I didn't buy the Tutti Frutti set, but I got a few of these, and I'm having fun with them. So that's in there. So, and most of the sets we're working with tonight are either from here or the occasions. And I also wanted to mention that, oh, if anybody is going to need catalogs, to let me know, because the new catalog will be out in June. So I'm already thinking in advance. And then there's also my customer loyalty card. So for every $50 that you spend, I initial the card. If you live far away, you keep track of it. I kind of keep track of it, but I leave it to the person to keep track of it. And then you get a $50 spending spree when it's filled in. So that's that. Let me get rid of that. And we're going to start with this card. So this was just a quickie, and I'm going to try and embellish it a little bit more than what I did with this. I've already done my bow. If you've never seen me do my bow, I just take something round, glue stick or something, and I tie the ribbon around, and then this comes out like this, and then I cut it. So that makes a nice flat bow for mailing. So this is the first card. I'll probably be a little longer than I have been. I try to keep these short, but this is doing 4 cards even though they're quick. So I'm going to take my... I had everything lined up. Okay, so I'm going to take a glue dot to start with. And I'm not one to like my ribbon going around the card. I always like it to go around something else. And I'm going to have to move that. I didn't leave that enough. So I know a lot of people that they'll tie something this way and it goes inside, and I don't know, for some reason I don't like that look. And my glue. So I'm going to take that and just tag that over. This is probably the longest part of the card, is doing the ribbon. Okay, and that's going to go right there. But first I just want to leave it not done so I can do the stamping. And this is Beautiful Peacock, and this is a Sale-a-Bration set, so you can earn this set for free. And I'm going to take Dapper Denim. And I'm going to make sure it's inked up. And I'm just going to stamp it right there. And then I'm going to take the flourish part of it. And we'll put one going up that way. And one going this way. And then you just want to make sure you get a little extra glue. I think that one just ran out. Better. Okay. So then I'm just going to take this and put it to the bottom. And I didn't put anything on the other one, but I thought maybe a couple of these. I'm not sure if there's blue. Yep, there is. Either these. Nope. It's green. Which would work. How about gold? Wish I had my little tacky thing. I can make one real fast. Little bit of mono, and you let it dry. Nope. Now I'm picking them all up. Alright, we're going to use these three. So I would just put a dot. Let's turn that little heart around. My phone is going to keep blowing up. I should have turned the volume down, but I didn't know if it would affect the live. Whoops. Now it's more stuck to me than it is. Okay. Nope, it's not okay. Let's do it again. A dot of glue. Now, if I was doing this and I wasn't on live, it would just be like bip, bip, bip. Okay, so I'm going to let that, see now it's just sticking to that because I have the glue on it. Alright, so I'm not loving the star, but it's a little bling. And then the only thing I have left to do is stamp something on the bottom. So, we'll take this, and this goes with the other set, this one. So my fast card wasn't as fast as I wanted it to be. Hi, Lynn. Okay, so I'm just going to stamp that there. And instead of bringing out my cutter, I'm just going to take a scissor and snip it. Let's try for straight. Oh, Tequila, you better be working. Oh, my phone. I apologize. Okay, and then I'm just going to take that and glue that down. So, pretty quick. And it's got the matching envelope, and it's ready. Oh, I don't even know what to do with this phone. Okay. So the next one, oh, I've got to try something. Maybe I can, I don't know, if I cut this off, it's gonna, I'm sorry. Okay, so we're gonna do this one. I've already pre-cut the circle, and of course this is pre-done, so it makes it easier. Okay, so I'm going to take the bear. I'm going to ink them up real good. Well, you know what? Before I do the bear, let me just put some of this washi tape. So, washi tape is really easy to use. I'm going to take the thicker one. And I'm going to move that, but I just want to make sure. Like, you don't have to cut it straight. You just lay it down and tear it. And tear it. And then I'll take this real thin one. And put that down. Oh, maybe they stopped. It's one of those group messages for a group I meet with on Tuesdays. And then I'm going to put that one right there next to it. Okay, so we have that done. And I'm going to take an ink up. And this is such a cute set too. This is also a Sale-a-Bration Party Pandas, and you can earn this one also free. So I'm going to take this and hope he stamps good. Sometimes I have to use the Stamparatus. It's good. He's good. Okay, let him dry a second. And I'm going to take the gray, and this is the alcohol ink, and I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom so he doesn't look like he's floating in the air, even though he could be because of the balloon. And then I'm going to take the clear, and this is the blending. I call it a mover. I think they call it an eraser. Color lifter. But when you use it on a light color, it kind of gives it a little texture. And you could also go in and, if you wanted to, you know, do some normal shading lightly. Like he would have some shading under there. I'm making my quick card take a little longer by doing all these things. Okay, so I'm going to take a piece and just stamp the balloon. Did you see that? Maybe I need another shot. Okay, so we'll be done with him, but we're going to do a little coloring on this. Guess I could have pre-cut this one out too. So I'm going to put a little dark shading underneath. And then blend that up. And let me use the other side. And a lighter color on top of a darker color, you can see it's kind of fading it, and that's where the blending comes in. But then you can, like when it's dry, and this dries pretty fast, if I keep going over it, you can like layer the color a little bit. So that's going to be good enough. And then we're going to cut that puppy out. My hands are getting so bad. Maybe it's my eyes too. Okay. So this is going to get layered right on top of that. So I'm going to take him, place him right there. And it all depends on what you want to do. You know, I could have taken our balloon punch and made a bigger balloon and cut out a couple of them and layered one up. But for a quick and easy card, I'm just using, you know, the stamp that it comes with. And that's it. That one's done. So it's got its card and its envelope. So I'm going to set that one aside. Let's try to clean up a little as I'm going. I do make a very big mess when I'm stamping. Okay, so now we're going to make this one. So for what I did with this one, this is a piece of paper 2 by 5.5, and I am going to take the yellow, which is Daffodil Delight, and just stamp all over. And you can do first and second generation because you're just making a texture. Put a little up there in the corner. And then I'm going to take the banner punch, which is pretty cool because it'll fit the 2-inch piece, and then it goes down to 1.5 and then 1. But you can also, when it's open, you can slip a piece, you know, all the way up and under there. So if you wanted to do a bigger one, you could. So that just cuts a perfect banner. Okay, so this is going to go like this. And then I'm just going to glue that down. Okay, so put that aside for the moment. And then I'm going to bring out the daffodil, which comes from You're Inspiring, and that's in the Occasions catalog. And Happy Easter, Kind Thoughts for You, You're Inspiring, Happy Birthday, Because of You, I Am Me, Happy Mother's Day. So it's really a versatile set. I think daffodils are nice all year round. Makes you think of spring. My black pad. Black. Okay, so I want, because I'm watercoloring, this is the archival, so this shouldn't bleed unless it's still wet. So you do have to give it a second to dry. So I'm going to stamp that. Voila. And throw that aside. Clean them later. Okay, so if you haven't seen me work with glycerin, and I do have glycerin already in there, but what I do is I take a little drop of glycerin. It's really fantastic when you're sponging a background. Keeps it from drying so fast, so you don't get like blobs of color. So I'm going to take a blender pen and make sure that it's clean. And yeah, there's plenty of glycerin here. Okay, so it lets you like blend out the color a little bit. And I'm really doing some fast coloring here. And that is kind of not dry yet, running. Okay, so then I can come back and just blend it out a little bit. You don't want to overcolor either. And shading in a flower, no flower is like perfectly one color. But this kind of gives you like where the lines are of where it should be a little bit darker. So that makes it easier. And then inside here I'll go a little lighter. Just lightly blend it. That could be a little darker. And the same thing here. Anybody else come in? Hi, Stacy. It's hard to see. Stamp and watch. I don't know how some of the demonstrators do it. They're better than I am. I can't do two things at once. Okay, so there's my little bit of color. Let me make that a little darker inside. And we'll move on to the green. So for the green, I'm using Little Wild Wasabi. And whoop, let me just make sure this is clean. And you just want it on a scrap piece of paper until it's clear. And that doesn't look like there's any glycerin left in there. So let me add a little glycerin. And this lets you do like a little bit of shading without, you know, using different colors. But like I said, this is quick. I like quick coloring. I also like to sit and really watercolor. I'm learning how to do that, but you know, when you're in a hurry and you just have to get a card out to somebody, or you need to make a bunch of cards that give them as a gift, you want to be able to do this fast. You don't have to worry, because it is a watercolored look, about, you know, going out of the lines a little bit. Just add that color. It's an illusion anyway. So there we go. So that's, oh, I left out a spot up on top. Somebody should yell at me, even though I can't hear you. Yell at me. I need somebody to, like, be able to smack me in the back of the head. Hey, missed a spot. Okay, so we'll put that aside. And then I used a different stamp for that, but I'm going to do right from the set, Kind Thoughts for You. And I'm also going to stamp that in black. And I should have my grid paper here, so I can, sometimes I like to stamp off, make sure that I'm going to get a good image. That could have been a little lower. So when that happens, you can take, I mean, you can still see it, but you can stamp it on a little piece of, I could do that too. All right, let's do it. Since that's lying here, let's do it. I saved that last card. That's my favorite. Okay, and then I need a little bit of sponging. So just take a sponge, and I'll sponge around this too. That was lucky that this was in the very vanilla that I'm using. But that's how you fix something you don't really love. I think because the other stamp that I used was a much bolder stamp, it didn't matter as much. But you see how you just quickly flick the edges. And then I'm going to layer that up. So I'm going to bring back the card, put that there, like so. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals. I thought I had an open pack here. I have the minis. Okay, there's some. And I'm going to use 3. And just layer that on there. That came out good. I like it. Somebody's gonna win this whole set. I'll pull a name tomorrow. So you'll have 4 cards to send somebody. All right, let me get rid of some of this. I just make more and more of a mess. Okay, so I was showing before when I first started. I pre-did these. I'm going to show you how to do it. But when you color on the back of vellum, it stays wet. I probably still have ink on me. It stays wet for a little while, and it's not absorbent. But then, through a mistake, I didn't emboss this properly. So I was playing with it, and I took my stylus. Nope, that's not it either. Took my stylus and my foam pad and ran it on the back to make it, you know, lift. And then I took the marker and put it on it. And it kind of made the paper more absorbent. So I'm kind of excited to do this technique. Yeah, make a few cards with it. So when I do, I'll post them. But this is the card, and it's still, I consider it to be, you know, a pretty fast and easy card. So we're using Beautiful Day. This is also in the Occasions catalog. Always Thinking of You, Happy Birthday, the flower, the butterfly. It's really pretty. I've seen so many beautiful cards with it. A lot of people using Brusho, which I haven't done that in a live yet, and I should. I should show you. Here, this is a Brusho card I did the other day, and I did a little bleaching in here. But it just makes these bursts of color. It's really, really fun to play with. All right, back to what we were doing. So, to make this card, we take the butterfly. And in case you haven't seen my my trick with making my stamps stick, a lot of times they kind of lose it. So I don't know if you can see it on there, but it's just a little bit of glue stick. It washes right off. You don't want to get the real gooey, sticky glue stick. This one is a photo glue stick, but I keep forgetting to pick up Avery to try it. But you just put a little bit on, it'll wash off of this, and it washes off of that. And then once it's on, and I just put more ink on my fingers. Gotta love it. But that's in case you never got to see that. Probably get sick of me showing some things over and over. But I figure if I have some new people. So you want to ink this really good with the Versamark. And this is just a very sticky ink. That also, if you stamp directly on a piece of cardstock, it'll give like, make it a little bit darker, so you'll see things in the background. It's a great background ink. But for embossing, it stays wet for a while. So I'm just going to take this. And I don't know if you can see it, but yeah, you can. I'm trying to lift myself up, shorty me, and look through my phone. So then I'm taking some black embossing powder. And this is very old. I'm hoping that they come back with black. But it's not in our catalog right now. And what I did forget to do is take the magic powder and put it on there first. And that takes the static away. So you don't have a lot of this. I mean, it won't matter around the, it's too big. It won't matter like around the outside because it gets cut out. But you can always take a brush. Yeah, it doesn't matter out there. It's these inside little specks. Be a speckled butterfly. Alright, so once you have your powder on, you want to take your embossing gun, let it heat up. These get really hot. And you'll see it start to get shiny. Which means it's melting and doing what you want it to do. I like the old embossing gun better. Just saying. I find this one doesn't heat up as much. Just seems like it's taking forever. Does get hot though. There's a spot. Alright, so I think I got it all. And when you're, not sure, you just kind of hold it to the light, and if you see a dull spot, yep, I got it. So then what you would do is turn this over. And where's my colors? Can you see this mess on my desk? Okay, so I'm going to use, let's see, this is Blushing Bride, and I want the brush part. And here you don't have to be that neat either, because you've got these big bold lines, and you're doing it from the back, so you're not going to see it running over. Is that a song? And then we'll put some of the lime in there, and here. And here. I could see I missed spots. Okay, and then the darkest color out here, and this is Berry Burst. Berry Burst? I think so. Berry Burst. And see, this one I'm going right over that line. And you'll never see it. And this is like a stained glass kind of look. And you can, you know, let it dry a little and then go back and, you know, make spots a little darker. But if you touch this now, it's going to be all over your hands. Let's see, if I put something under it, you can see it better. It's pretty, right? Okay, so all I did, I'm not going to cut that one out, was I took this pre-made card and just put a little bit of glue. I think I'll use the liquid glue again, and I left the cap off. You can put it, you know, right, and I'm not putting a lot because I don't mind if the butterfly lifts a little bit. I just don't want it to totally fall off. But it's kind of cool if you know, curl that a little bit. Okay, so that's on. And then, again in black, I'll use this one, the Memento. So really that was 4 cards in 40 minutes or less, actually, because I was talking about other things. Yeah, so if I was just stamping straight, I probably could have had them, you know, them all done. I would say the liquid glue wasn't that great because it did wet it underneath. So I wouldn't do that again on something I colored on the back because that just re-wet it. Although it doesn't look bad, it's just not, it's not the right glue. So the tape would have been better. So that's the cards. I will pick a winner tomorrow. If you're the winner, I will contact you for your address. Thanks for joining me. Any questions, leave it in the comments. Please feel free to share the video. Catalog, if you need a catalog when they come out, or if you still want one for the remainder of this year, leave me a message and I'll get it to you. Thanks for joining me tonight. See you again soon. Bye.